Welcome back. I'm Jocelyn. My guest today is Mike Ferguson, President and CEO of GenSource. Before we went to break, Mike was sharing us an important chart, and I think important for the economy of Canada. Mike, finish off your thought.
Sure. I was just on the right-hand chart here showing that Saskatchewan just produces about 33% or 1/3 of the world's annual demand of potash fertilizer, whereas we have in the ground 50% of the known resources. So this is part of our goal here. Saskatchewan, at this time in the history of the world, has what the world needs: agricultural products, fertilizer products, energy products. And this is the time for Saskatchewan and Canada to stand up and do more to feed the world in these difficult times.
Absolutely, and do it in an environmentally friendly way. We were going to talk about food insecurity, Mike. How can GenSource be the solution to food insecurity?
So GenSource produces, or will be producing, a fertilizer product, which is key to producing food, of course. Now, we're faced with a situation where we have climate change impacting how food is grown around the world. We have a growing population, some say reaching 10 billion by the middle of this century. We have a decreasing land base. Arable land per person is continuing to fall. All of those things put tremendous pressure on agriculture to produce the food we need. And in order for it to do that, they need fertilizer. And the fertilizer supply chain is critical to food security. And that's our role. As I mentioned earlier, we're here to create these new and independent supply chains to make it easier to get this critical mineral into the hands of the end user.
And all with great Canadian technology. Mike, the federal government is said to be bringing new rules for the farming industry. In your opinion, how is this going to affect both farming and the potash industry?
I think, as I understand it, these new rules will provide some relief from the carbon tax for farm operations, applying to on-farm activities around grain drying and other aspects. It's a great first step. We have to make sure that we're supporting the farmers that grow the food that the world needs. We've all seen our food prices skyrocket in the last year. Everybody likes to complain about that, and we see it. But we're the lucky ones. A lot of places in the world don't have food to complain about the price, no matter what price it may come in at. So it's that lack of the ability to feed the world's population that is critical here. And actions like this are additive. They help remove a burden from the people who produce that food.
Mike, your potash solution is unique. How can Canada increase Canadian exports globally using your solution?
As I touched on it earlier when we were showing the two pie charts, the reserves in Saskatchewan indicate that we should be doing more, and Saskatchewan and Canada are uniquely positioned to do more, to step up, to be a leader in both fertilizer production and export, as well as in agricultural commodity production and export. We need to fill a gap. We need to provide a safe and steady supply chain for these commodities around the world. In the current context, of course, supply chains are tremendously disrupted and unreliable, and that's causing a portion of the trouble that we see around the world now. So Saskatchewan and Canada have a huge role to play, stepping up to be a leader in this aspect.
So, Mike, how can your solution lead to a cleaner planet?
Well, we're all about that. The company was born with that DNA. We're out to do potash more efficiently, creating no tailings, no brine ponds, 75% less water. We received our environmental approval from the regulators without the need to complete a full environmental impact assessment, because we simply didn't trigger any of the issues that would require a full EIA. We did most of the work anyways, but it's the first time ever for a potash project.
Amazing technology. Mike, the GDP is broken down in this graph from Saskatchewan. These are the numbers. The number one contributor is mining and the resource sector, eclipsing farming, which was an absolute surprise to me. Let's talk about this graph and how important it is to continue to develop the resource sector in Saskatchewan. We just got about 30 seconds left.
Sure. So it is critical and it is surprising. We think of Saskatchewan as an agricultural province, but the resource sector is by far the largest in the province. So it's critical to keep this development moving in all kinds of strategic minerals like potash, like uranium, even lithium and some of the other metals. These exist in Saskatchewan, and it's important to continue to grow that.